Hey, what is up, everyone? Welcome to Market Psychology 101, where we look for value in the markets when there's fear and are cautious when there's greed. In today's video, I'm going to be taking a look at some of the Bitcoin mining stocks, such as Marathon, Riot, CleanSpark, Cypher, TeraWolf, and so on. So, starting off with fear and greed, because these are stocks we're talking about, we are in neutral territory right now on the CNN Fear and Greed Index. And on pie vesting, we're about in the middle as well. For crypto, as you can see, we've been going sideways just for a little bit. We did have this downtrend from greed into fear, went up a bit, and now we are going sideways. So it seems that a big move is coming, up or down. I think up, but we'll see. We just got to take what the market can give us. And this is one of the reasons why the altcoin market, the alt season index, is curling up, and I'm wondering if we're going to get a pretty big spike here soon. The reason why this is important, I'll show you this on the charts, is these mining stocks act like altcoins and they follow the altcoin market, or at least they pretty much have in the past. And in the last cycle, where Bitcoin was topping in 2021, we had these three peaks for alt prices. Now, true alt season was right in here, but there were times that prices went up quite a bit. This does look like it's curling up in strength and maybe getting ready to spike soon. So we'll see. I also do videos on the Bitcoin rainbow chart as well, so stay tuned for those. And let's get into it. So starting off with Bitcoin, because altcoins, Bitcoin mining stocks go the way Bitcoin does. Bitcoin came down just a little bit to the 50-day moving average and has seemed to have found some level of support. It keeps hitting this upper level, and I'm sure if we drew a trend line up here, we could see that it's trying to break up. And I think the more times we test this, the more likely it's going to be that eventually we do break through and maybe Bitcoin gets up somewhere like 76, 80,000. But we'll see. It could also fall down through these levels, maybe take the 100 or even the 200-day moving average at worst. That would be around 58,000. Do I think that's going to happen? No, but could it? You never know. And as far as altcoins are concerned, a chart that is important for you to watch is the Bitcoin dominance chart. It has been going up a little bit. It did get a weekly buy signal, and candle body wise, we're as high as we've ever been this cycle. And so should this continue and Bitcoin dominance get up somewhere at 57, 58, that has been my base case for as high as dominance can go. Now, what is Bitcoin dominance, you might ask? What this basically means that 55.6% of all money in crypto is in Bitcoin. And when this number goes down, in the past, it's done this twice, and it takes about a month. And when it does this, that is alt season. That's when alts explode. And that's when Bitcoin miners have exploded too and gone up drastically in price very quickly. So keep an eye on this chart. I'll be doing videos, and if this thing all of a sudden pipes down, who knows when that'll be. That is a good time to consider taking profits. So let's start off with our first mining stock, and that is Marathon Digital Holdings. Now, I like to start off on the weekly, and what you see here on the weekly is it does have this sell signal, but what I do like is the length of this wick on the downside, and the reason why is inversely, I've seen this happen with a candle body and a wick on the upside that's very large, is it can it can show us that it's forming a base and getting ready to go in the opposite direction. I'm curious if the daily will show us anything like that, and it has. So this thing wicked down to the 200-day. Already on the daily, you can see it came back up above those 19 levels. You can see here it's at 20. So it is starting to come back up. I know it says a sell signal now because that's for this week. That could change should it keep going higher. So it looks like it got a good healthy bounce. A 200-day moving average is usually typically around the 50-week moving average, pretty close to that. So maybe this is becoming a strong base. I still want to see Marathon close above the 618 fib level, which is at 23.77. So we're still below that. I did talk about previous videos how we have the 0.5 fib here, the green line. We have the 100, 200, and 50-week moving average. So all of that creates for a lot of very strong support. And when we've been down here, I said, hey, the closer we are, I think overall that's good support, and that would be decent levels of dollar cost average in. So not only does it have to close above the 618, I'd like to see a candle body open and close. Now, like I was talking about with the wick, you can see what happened the one time we did, well, twice, but the first time that we closed, you see the strong wick to the upside. So it ripped up a little bit too hard and then came back down. So I'd like to see it get above and stay above. So if you are looking for price targets, I'll show you this on Marathon, but for the rest, I'll just show you where the price is, if it's somewhere in between. If you draw a fib, and that's this tool right here, if you draw a fib retracement from the high to the low, and in this channel, I take a look at the long-term scales for stocks because I'm an investor. I'm not here to teach you guys how to trade. So if you're looking for trading analysis, really not my style. Trade vesting at best with crypto stuff. I don't claim to be an expert in this. But if you take your fib off log scale, you can see some price targets here on the left. And these would be some of my best case scenarios for Marathon. Now, let's say it did a 10x and it hit around this 2618 level at 213. Guys, a lot of YouTube channels, they'll talk about crypto is doing a 10, 100, 1000x, and they're talking out of their butts. If this one did a 10x, something you always need to consider is market cap. Market cap is a real thing because it's how large these companies can get or how much value they have. And for a lot of altcoins, market cap's around 50 billion. Looks like it could be the average for a 10x, maybe even 100 billion. Of course, would be a 20x. Do I think it could get there? We'll see. Probably not, but who knows? But a 10x would make this worth 55 billion at that point in time. So I don't think anything higher than that is as likely, but we will see. So a 10x, you take 10 times 20, that's around this 200 level, and 10 times the market cap. So do understand what market cap is. And if you don't, you're the dumb money, the retail money that these whales know how to take money from. So watch out for that. Let's next move on to Riot. Riot is our next mining stock. And for Riot, let's see here. We have been forming a base here on the weekly. You can see a lot of price action going left, going sideways. I drew this trend line last time. Not my best artwork, but you can see as we've been forming a base and after this came down, we are creating higher lows. We're also creating lower highs, and so we're getting this wedge triangle formation, and that means that we should be getting ready for a move up or down, kind of like we were back in here. We broke down, and there we are. We came down to this level where there has been good price action once, twice, three times before. So what we want to see here for Riot is to get back above this 382 fib yellow line right here. And we also have these moving averages, 50, the 100, the 200. Of course, this level, the 0.5 at $16, it has not been able to stay above yet. But one thing you could consider is if you like Riot, this is deeper value. And so here's an opportunity. Riot has a $3 billion market cap, and something that I'm curious if it happens again on Riot. You can see here the last couple of peaks. This one was in December 17. That was the peak of the crypto market in 2017. Let me show you. So right here, December 17. Also, we had April of 21 to November of 21 as well. And this one peaked right before that April 21 level in February. So it should riot hit this trend line, and there's no guarantees. I like to say trend lines are only good for as long as they're good for. A number you could be watching for is something in the mid 100s at best. So that can be a target for riot. Let's zoom in on the daily, see if we notice anything. As far as the daily, look at that. It already wicked up and is testing the 50-day moving average as resistance. We have the 100 right here by the 382. So should things get very bullish very soon and it gets above this stuff, we could see some very quick movements up to here to the 17 level, like you saw back here. As soon as it got above that 382, it didn't even take a week and it got above. So riot right now is at juicy prices, but do your own research. Do not buy just because the chart shows good value. A chart shows good value a lot of times because there's real reasons why it's crap, why it's down. So do your research. This chart, on the other hand, shows that people really like putting their money into it and they don't mind it being extended. They feel strongly about it. So this is Clean Spark. Let's go over to the weekly. So Clean Spark, it's been in this little minor downtrend here, but does seem to be forming somewhat of a base. It's hanging on to the 20-week moving average, had this strong wick down. If it gets below this $13.85 level, I would not be feeling as good about it. But let's take a look at the daily. It looked like it had some strong support, and it did, right off the 100-day moving average. And as you can see for Clean Spark, as soon as it broke above all these trend lines and turned them into support, what you notice is that it keeps bouncing off this light blue 100-day moving average once, twice, three, four times. So maybe this is a good area for support and some good dollar cost average value for Clean Spark if you truly like it. You can also see how, actually, let's turn this fib onto log scale so we're speaking accurately. You can also see how when it gets above its use these fib levels, the 0.5, the 618, it's used those as areas to kind of settle down a little bit, the 786. So should it get back above, I would expect it to get to the 786 level. And then, yes, sky's the limit for Clean Spark. Market cap at $3.75 billion. So that's where we're at right here. And on the daily, we do have a green buy signal. So Clean Spark could be getting ready to go to this 22 level. All right, next, let's take a look at Cypher Mining. And this one, strong daily buy signal right there. It was at the 100 not too long ago, probably the last time we talked about it. Came up, tested the 50, at least with the candle body, bounced off the 100 again, and this is a strong movement up. Let's zoom out, take a look at the weekly. What I like about Cypher Mining right now is how this is just nicely grinding upwards. So this looks like a very strong miner, at least on the chart. It has a $1.4 billion market cap. Something that I talk about in a lot of my videos, and I'd be remiss if I didn't remind you guys, be extremely careful buying cryptos now. And I'm going to go on just a quick little aside here. When you see this date back here, December 2020, that's when Bitcoin was breaking above the 2017 highs. So December 2020, it was getting above that 20,000 level that was the top here. When altcoins came out here, you have to be extremely careful. And there were even some back in this area. When that happens, you want to be careful, just like you would an IPO, initial public offering for stocks, because they came out as at around $10, went up to 15, and then went down to around half a dollar. I've seen this happen with way too many altcoins, and obviously here with this miner. So do be careful. What I do like about established stocks or altcoins is we need all the competitive advantage that we can get from the charts. And if we don't have a competitive advantage, we don't know if it's going to blast off, turn into a rug pull. So I look at it more as educated gambling. It's nothing I would put a considerable amount of money into, maybe some fun money, if you will. Of course, never invest more than you're willing to lose. But I had a comment in my rainbow chart video on Monday. Someone said, the retail's really not in crypto right now. So how can we have an alt season with retail not in crypto? Guys, something for you to consider. And I've seen this happen multiple times. Already this cycle, when Bitcoin did break the 21 all-time high and it got a little bit above 70,000, retail sits on the side until smart money pumps. And I know you guys do this too, and we're going to talk about this right now. We are called market psychology after all. What do I teach you guys? I teach you to try to be a contrarian, because when the sentiment is boring, when the sentiment is bad, you guys aren't buying mostly. And you know this to be true because you get really excited as it comes up. You're like, oh, I don't want to miss this opportunity. I'm going to buy. You didn't write out a plan. I know some of you still haven't. Seriously, do write out a plan as far as what stocks, what altcoins, where you would buy, what you would look for, where you might sell, when you might sell. And smart money knows good value levels to get in. That's why I have not only these fib levels, but also the moving averages. Smart money is getting in at those deeper values, whereas dumb money is chasing. And I see this. I see this with the YouTube video views. When the market's doing good, the views go up. That's when retail gets back in. When your friends and family start to talk or text about crypto and stocks, that's a sign that there's probably a local top in the market nearby. That's why they call it dumb money. It's not an insult. It's just true. So retail comes in at the end, pumps it up, and that's when smart money's taking their profits because they've been buying down here. They're more than happy with the 10x that they got or the 5x. And retail money typically has to get lucky. People think it's going to keep doing what it's doing from where they bought, and then they get left holding a bag for 4 years. We're holding a bag for another 4 years. So these are the times when retail gets in and when YouTube views are spiking, when friends and family are talking about crypto. So that's why we're talking about good value times the dollar cost average in, deep value. If you like something up here enough to buy it, then you should love it down here. And you should be buying more down here to get more value. And if you don't, you should not be buying that stock or crypto. So please, please, please do your research. Be smart. Literally write down a plan. I don't care if it's in an email draft, but guys, dumb money isn't driving the alt market up. It's dumb money isn't doing that. Retail money isn't. It's smart money. So now is the time for some of these stocks, some of these altcoins for you guys to get in. Did I even do analysis on this one? Yeah, I said it's slowly, excuse me, I said it's slowly grinding up, looking good. All right, TerraWolf. TerraWolf, we were in this little wedge here, and we've had a nice breakout above the 100-week moving average. So TerraWolf looking great. Here's an example. If you like this stock enough to do research and get in down here, where it's been at deep, deep value, you'd be enjoying great gains already. Probably, I don't know, what is this about? Let's just take the average, 70%, 100, 140%. So, this is a prime example of getting in when others don't want to, when it's boring. The top is over here at 43, so that'd be about a 10x from where it is right now, and that would make it around 10 billion. Could it go much higher? Sure, who knows? Have a plan, write down numbers that you would be willing to take some percentage of profits, follow Bitcoin dominance, be very ready to take massive profits, higher percentage by the time or when this thing tanks, because when it's tanking to the low 40s, as I showed you, that's typically been around the peak of the market. Not that we want to time too much, so obviously dynamically dollar cost average out. These things can peak before dominance tanks. So do know that. It's not a perfect correlation. Terrawolf looking great. The next area to watch for, should it get there, is this 483 level and the 200 moving average around $5. So $5, this is the next area. I'm sure it'll encounter some resistance, but hopefully it can break through. So let's keep moving on. Let's start flying through these. Bit Digital here, I like how, it's in this little channel, if you will, almost a wedge. It's not got too much of a low degree of angle here. So anyways, it's right on the 382 and the 50-week moving average. So decent value. And next would be around $3. The 0.5 up here, which it has tested and gone back down under 200 moving average as well. Here is at around 416. So deep value for Bit Digital. If you like Bit Digital, it is a $300 million market cap, so plenty of room to run. Could it? Do your research. Look for the goods and the bads. Sleep on it for a day. Make an educated decision, one that you can love and live with. And know that, again, if you are going to buy in here and it goes down, then you should love getting at lower prices. If you don't love getting something at lower prices, should it go down after you buy, then you didn't do enough research to truly believe in what you are buying. So that is the mindset you want to have. That is the mindset I'm trying to coach you with right here. I'm not saying just blow your money at it. But if that is the sentiment you feel deep inside where you're like, crap, it went down, instead of, ooh, it's at greater prices, then you have not done enough research and you shouldn't have bought it in the first place. So what I like to do, I set a budget, X amount of dollars each month, and if it's in good value, that's what I put at it. Sometimes I pull my budget to the next month if there's nothing that I really want to buy, and then you can throw in more when there is deeper value. So next, let's take a look at Bitfarms. Bitfarms, we've been running this trend line. We saw a buy signal once, twice, and this got above the 0.5. All these weekly moving averages that were resistance are now support. So good job for those of you who got in Bitfarms down here. We were talking about how it's decent value. And next is the 618 level at 282. So as far as candle bodies, we've only had one truly open and close above it. Is this long-legged doji with high wick above it, and that was not great. So hopefully it can get above and stay above the 618 level and then go further. All right, next, let's go to iron. We have iron and cores. Iris Energy Limited, and wow, look at this one right here. We were talking about when this broke out, how strong of a move it was looking, and it not only got above this 618, like we talked about before, it's hit it once, twice, three times. This is what I'm looking for from Bitcoin, by the way, with that trend line I drew. It came right up to that 786. So not Bitfarms, Iris Energy Limited, looking very bullish. And the charts here show it starting around 28. Guys, I showed you how to take it off log. Look at those extensions. Got a $1.9 billion market cap. So could it get to 19 million? Sure. How much room does this have to run? Who knows? But right now, this chart's looking very, very bullish and ready to take off. So congrats if you got into Iris Energy at any of these lower prices. I hope it keeps going up for you. Core Scientific, last one. This one, oh my God. So guys, this one I was talking about, be careful. Me personally, this is not one I would be putting my money into. It does have a $1.6 billion market cap, but just going by the chart alone, to me, I didn't have enough of a competitive advantage to really want to put into this, and nor would I. I don't care if this thing 100Xs and I miss a possible lottery ticket, because as far as this chart goes, I've seen these turn very negative, very bad, all too often. If any of you did get on Core Scientific, great. We did talk about how at the very least we did have this higher low on the wicks down here. But again, there's not a lot to talk about in the charts outside of that. If this thing starts blasting off, great. And if you have gotten amazing profits from this, again, do consider taking some level of profits. At least get your buying money back and play with house money. How high these could go, it's really hard to say, at least with technical analysis. But I hope it really does well for you guys if any of you do have cores. I'm not personally going to buy it. I've seen altcoins and IPOs turn very negative within the first 2 years, way more often than not. If it goes up, that's something that maybe you could calculate by market cap. You can consider here that, it used to have something like it's done about a 3x from these points. So, used to have around a 700 or $600 billion market cap, 600 billion, million, 600 million. And maybe this could get up to something like 10 billion. Who knows? But of course, be careful. I would not be buying up here either. Okay, this thing is at all-time highs. It's brand new. It's been out since the Bitcoin ETF. I would be waiting for more time personally on this one, or just staying away completely. But if you did get in early, congrats, and I hope it does really well for you. Anyways, guys, that's all we got for today. Hope you are making some money. Should Bitcoin, we show this on the daily, should this get above this trend line and start to really break up, I want you guys to be watching the alt market and these miners, because they might have an explosion in price. Does not mean we're at the end of the cycle as we've been before, but it is possible, should we go up, that we could have some very exciting times in the markets soon. Inversely, if it goes down, then hey, there's more buying opportunity times for us. So hope you're doing well. Have a great day.